man, me and all these buttons, I'm telling you, I just can't get it together. Well, welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday. We're on what day is this? Day 8 of Video-A-Day Debruary. Where's my earring twisted like that? I'm trying to wear big earrings, and you see, they taking over my life. Yeah, looks like we got 25 questions again. Didn't I just see you guys yesterday? Wasn't I just here? I'm not used to doing 2 live streams in a row. Now where I'm the host anyway. But welcome to the show, everybody. In case you're new here, this show is an advice column. Instead of writing it like I used to, it's now done in audio, here, video and audio on YouTube. And the people still send the questions in though, but instead of writing and answering, publishing it on my blog, I instead just read the questions and then I answer them right off the cuff, just like I used to, but they were in written form. But now you get to hear, you get to see my expressions, see me roll my eyes and all that good stuff. What's up, D? Mary Elizabeth with her crazy self. Oh, I didn't even get a chance to promote the links and stuff, like on my YouTube and stuff like that. So if anybody has time, feel free to share the link because I sure didn't do it. I don't know. I'm just going crazy. What's up, ladies? Everybody's here. I'm sure there's going to be some people here who wrote questions in. Unless they identify themselves, I don't know who they are because I don't know who they are. Thank you. Is this color? I like browns, like deep colors. I think look better on me, like dark, like purples and emerald green and, versus like really bright, like pastels and stuff like that. I wear them sometimes, but I don't think they are like my color palette or whatever. They used to have those parties where they would do color palettes. I'm dating myself. This was like so in the 80s and 90s. And people would have parties and they would, tell you what your colors were. And they would try to get you to buy stuff in those color schemes. So we'll see. So anyway, let's get started because as usual, we have 25 questions and we're going to be here for a minute. So like I said, if you have time to share a link to the show on your Twitter or social, whatever you say, Facebook, whatever you guys got, your Insta, your Snapchats, your TikToks, and get people over here because your friend over here did not do it. Okay. Let me get started. Question number 1. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. This is my question. I've been in situations where if I don't text a guy back in 15 minutes because I'm busy doing something at home, like working out or preparing food, painting, showering, etc., they get super passive aggressive about it. One guy even blocked me. I don't get it. Do guys really sit and do nothing all day just texting? What is that sense of entitlement? They say stuff like, have a nice life, or I guess I'm bothering you. And I'm over here literally cooking dinner and just grabbing my phone and seeing it there in the span of 10 to 15 minutes is wild. I'm not going to stop doing my workout routine to text you every second or drop my food just to text you so you don't get mad. And I do text back pretty fast and never leave messages for tomorrow or something. What is this behavior? Have you ever heard of this happening? No, I have not. I'm sure some other people who do. Yeah, Mary Elizabeth. I'm sure other people who do this internet dating stuff have experienced it. Deb don't do online dating. You must have forgot. Okay? But I don't want to be bothered. I don't want anybody interjecting themselves into my life like that. And see, for me, if somebody had that kind of attitude, you know what my friends know? Okay, they send me a text, or this is terrible. They send me a text or they call me. I might not even look at my phone for 48 hours. I don't stay on a phone like that. And it's like the main thing I use my telephone for is laying in bed watching Netflix or some Korean drama on Viki.com or something like that. I mean, that's what I do. And I don't really make a lot of phone calls and I don't talk on the phone a lot. I talk to you guys, and after I finish these shows, I'm done. I've used up all my words. I don't have nothing else to say. You know what I mean? And it's like, so my friends already know. We're going to send her a text today, and we'll hear from her Thursday or Friday. And that's pretty much the way it is. And at first, people used to get upset. But it's like, they learned. I heard somebody say my skin is flawless. You know what? You drink a lot of water and you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and you don't wear a lot of makeup. I wear makeup now that I've been doing the shows. Before that, I just wore like lip gloss and maybe a little liner and mascara. I didn't put like all that stuff on, and I still don't. You know, all that base and stuff and that contouring and all that stuff people be doing. I can't be doing all that. It's too much work. I need to be doing my makeup in like 5 minutes. I have ADHD. I'm telling you, I can't do it. I cannot. So this is it. This is what you get. This is the best you're gonna get out of me, what y'all see on this show. So, I don't really, this kind of stuff I'm telling you. So any guy who got at me like that, I would definitely text him back, but it would not be anything that he would be interested in hearing. It would be a whole, like a whole bunch of expletives and your mamas and stuff like that, because it's like, you don't run my life. See, my thing is, I would have to text him back and say, are you paying me? If you're not paying me, you last in line. You don't expect nothing immediate unless you write a check, and it better not bounce. Now, I'll say some smart alecky stuff like that to them so they understand their position. Play your position. Your position is at the bottom of my priority list. Like, as if I get time and I don't have nothing else to do, then I will address you. But you're not a priority, sir. Especially you just meet them and they think that stuff's gonna be jumping off like that, like you're gonna make them the number one priority in your life. These dudes are tripping. Yeah, so anyway, to answer your question, no, I have never heard of that, but like I said, some of the other ladies may have, and they may have a better, answer for you. But I'm just telling you, just putting myself in your position, that is how I would respond. And I don't think they would like that too much. Question number 2, female, 22 to 27, from Columbus, Ohio. How would you feel and what do you do if you find out that your current boyfriend had contacted your ex asking questions about you and the relationship that you shared? Wait, what? My current contacted my ex asking questions. He did this by messenger and did not tell me or ask me. Now I have found out that they have been calling each other for the past few months. Am I wrong for being upset, especially after I let my feelings be known the first time I found out? Okay, so this is ongoing and you knew before? I was hurt and felt it was a trust issue. My current boyfriend tells me that I am overreacting and they don't talk about me. I find that very hard to believe. I just feel like it's so wrong to go digging up someone's personal business and to be talking to your girlfriend's ex on the phone. I asked him to stop calling him and I didn't feel it was appropriate they talk to each other. Every relationship is different and should not be compared. I think I want to end this because there's obviously no trust on his part as far as him believing what I told him about how our relationship didn't work out. Also, he claims the ex-boyfriend called him the last time, which was just a week ago. Any thoughts? I'd appreciate it, Deb. Just seems a bit asinine. Girl, I'm going to tell you this. You have more patience than a saint. Because by the time I found out that my boyfriend, who's the new one, had reached back into my past to call my ex about anything, anything, anything. We're done here, sir. We're done here because that is, yeah, very much, very, I was ready to say, and Lee took the words right out of my mouth. It's extremely disrespectful and it's controlling. And it's like, definitely demonstrating that he got to double check your stories. And, so he going to go to the person who has a vested interest in lying. Now, let me tell you how that would go if I was the ex. Okay. Let me just see, this is why this kind of stuff is stupid and men are retarded and they always go by, they put far more importance on what some men, they don't even know, right? A complete stranger says to them, they are more likely to believe that, ladies, than they are to believe you. So let me tell you how this would go. You let one of my exes call me, say one of my ex-boyfriend's girl, she calls me. And she's like, well, I just want to double check and see, if what he said is true. Well, what did he say? I'm going to have to get the facts so I can fuck her up. Oops, I'm trying to watch my language for February. Well, there we go. There's the F-bomb. Okay, so just so I could mess her over. And it's that. So I'm like, really? What did he tell you? I don't know. I just want to make sure that, he didn't like girls. So what did he say? So she's going to tell me what he said. And I'm going to say, ooh, he lying. He's lying. No, you know why I'm going to do that? Because you stupid enough to call me. I'm going to say all kind of stuff, whether what he did tell you was true or not. I'm going to tell you whatever I feel like telling you because you're on my phone. You're on my phone and you bothering my nerves with this garbage. So I'm going to just say whatever I feel like it. And then she's going to be mad at him and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, get him, girl, get him. And see, that's what I think the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, is supposed to do when the new boyfriend called him. He's supposed to just say, man, you a punk. Don't be calling me with that. You want to know something about your girl and what's happened with her. You ask her. Don't be calling me, clown. And then you hang up and block him. But as a woman, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to just mess over because that's just stupid. But if I were a guy, that's how I would handle it. And that's not what your ex did. He bought into it, and then your ex is calling him. So, if that's true. But anyway, your ex was still talking to him, right? Because they wouldn't have had this situation appear multiple times. So that means he did not cuss him out. He did not hang up on him, and he did not block him. So they've been having ongoing exchanges. The only thing they have in common is you. So I think your assessment that they're talking about you is correct. And I don't see any reason why you should continue this relationship. Now they can go over there and be best buds and they can talk about you and everybody else as long as they want to. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Los Angeles. She's a Capricorn. I like it when they fill in that blank. It's completely optional, just so you guys understand. Not everybody fills that blank in about what sign they are. That's why a lot of them don't have it. But she filled it in. So she's a Capricorn and her boyfriend is 22 to 27, same age group, and he's a Taurus. Well, that ought to work pretty well, I think. My boyfriend, 25, white, Spanish, and I, 24, black, started dating in college, long distance. We dated for a year, and I would fly back home during school breaks. A year later, I study abroad for a semester, and he cheats on me. He confesses, and I break up with him. When I graduate, he visits to see me walk across the stage. When I move back home for good, I expect that he and I do to start dating exclusively now that we're in the same town. But he was seeing another girl that went to his college. When he and I were getting intimate once, I asked him if we were together, and he said yes. He doesn't remember saying this, though. I found out that he's with someone else, and I feel betrayed because I consider him to be cheating again. I cut off all contact. He texted DMs and sent a letter to my mailbox. I ignored all contact. 2 years later, as a last resort to talk to me, he calls me and says he's outside my house and wants to speak. I talk to him in his car and we catch up and have a few good laughs. He says that the other girls he dated didn't measure up to me and that he didn't cheat a second time. This is that new paper again that sticks together. Y'all bear with me till I get through this case of paper because I paid all that money for it. I'm not throwing it away. Okay, so he says what? He didn't cheat a second time because we weren't technically together. Is he right? Yes, he's right. After doing long distance, I thought he would drop any girl he was with to finally be with me. Is that unreasonable? Yes. Should I get over myself and take him back? No. I feel conflicted because he's a good man, but I don't want to be a fool and get cheated on again. 3 days later, he asked me when he could see me again. He had wisdom tooth surgery and is in pain and asked if I can come by for a visit and pick up milk for him from the store. He says he doesn't have any friends in his life right now, only coworkers and family. I said no because I feel like I shouldn't do any emotional labor for someone I'm not in a relationship with. Am I wrong? Yes, you can do that for for a friend. You can do that for a female friend, a neighbor, some senior that lives on your block that you don't really talk to because you're a young person that just got a car and you can help out another human being. Should you have helped him though? No. So I like the fact that you told him no, but I'm just saying you don't have to be in a relationship with somebody to be a kind person and help them in a situation like that where they're in pain and they're on pain meds so they can't drive. Okay? So that's why I'm chewing you out about it. Do you help him? No. But your statement here, I feel like I shouldn't do emotional labor for someone I'm not in a relationship with, that's some BS. I also don't know if I should stay friends with an ex. No. Should I give him another chance and get back with him? What for? He's already told you that you're not important to him. He cheated on you, right? Not once, but twice, according to your rules. He's a good man, dependable, responsible, good with his hands, and funny. Our relationship was healthy. We met each other's families and we traveled well together, going to Puerto Rico on trips and etc. Okay, but so what? You had a boyfriend that cheated on you. See, to me, that eliminates him from the category of good man, end quote. That he's not good. He's a lying cheat. So for you to even consider taking him back and having all these wonderful things to say about him, I mean, that's great, but that's nothing that you can depend on emotionally. Why would you care that he's got a good job and he's funny and dependable? He's not dependable. You were depending on him to be, to be truthful and honest with you and not to cheat on you. And obviously your dependency needs there were not met, right? Responsible men don't cheat on their women. Oh, and I don't know. Your idea of what's a good man and mine are vastly different. Everything that the ways that he played that game on you about, playing the old get back together and reminisce game and then, catch up and then bed you and all that talking about, are we together? Yeah, you were together for that second, for that minute. For as long as it took him to bust one, you was together. That's the part that you didn't understand. He didn't lie. You was together with him in his bed, right? You didn't specify what the together meant. You have to be more specific. So that's your fault. See, this is how, they'll be getting out of stuff. I didn't know that's what you meant. And that's, I learned that from watching dudes. And I do it too. So you better be real specific. You asking me a question that you better try to pin me down. I'm going to still dance out of it. But, yeah, he's a good lying man. Thank you, sweet Melody. That's perfect. So, girlfriend, what you should do really is just eliminate this guy from your life, okay? Just take those qualities that you do appreciate about him, though, and look for that in someone else. That's it. That's all you have to do. Question number 4, female, 22 to 27 from Mesa, Arizona. I don't know if maybe I'm overthinking things, but I'd like your opinion. I started talking with a guy in December after a breakup. He lives like an hour and a half away from me. At first, it was just casual talking with him, but then I started to like him. He seems like such a nice person. When they say that, I already know the BS is coming like an avalanche. He is vegan because he loves animals, and he works with children that are disabled. Gosh, I mean, the next thing you know, he's a priest. We used to talk all day and watch TV shows together virtually. We had a great first date, and he stayed in a hotel in Mesa for us to meet in person. That day, he didn't try to sleep with me because he didn't want to give me the impression that he was just looking for, whoopee. So I just went home and we watched another TV show virtually. Oh, he got the long game working. The next day, he was acting a little creepy, making comments about my looks, saying that I'm so tiny that he would have to be gentle with me. He also joked about sending me you know what kind of photo, ladies, don't type it. I told him that I was feeling uncomfortable, so he stopped. But yesterday, he explained to me that that's just how he is, that he is always naughty. I asked him if he was looking just for a hookup, and I would like to know. And he said something like, well, for me, that kind of texting is super important in a relationship, specifically if you don't live close. What should I do about this guy now? You should block and delete. Block, delete. Block and delete. Remember how what's her name did that in Legally Blonde, how she did the snap and bend? Well, you're going to do the block and delete the same way. Okay? You can even do the little flip that she did, that little hip hop thing when you do it. It's just really, you have to have, this is one of the things that we talked about the other day when I had the guy on and we were talking about boundaries. If your boundary is that you don't want a man all up under your clothes, talking to you disrespectfully, talking in a way that's inappropriately familiar for the level of relationship that you have with him, and he does it anyway, then you're supposed to immediately evoke your power of disappearing. So you tell him you're rude, nasty, disgusting, whatever it is you want to label it, and then you say, I see there's no future here because of the way that you act. I don't accept men in my life that treat me this way. So we're done here, sir. That's my favorite line. Ooh, I be wearing men out with that. We're done here, sir. That sir is said so so sarcastically, but they can't say nothing because it's respectful, you know, right? I'm not cussing them out. I said, sir. So what you gonna do? But that has to be your boundaries. But you ladies, like, they do this stuff right, and then you keep talking to them. You get the opportunity to do it more, second, third, 15th time. Why do you do that to yourself? You know when he did it the very first time, he said something really inappropriate, like, overly familiar, all up under your clothes or something like that, and he says that to you. That was the time when you dump him. That second, okay, that second. Because it's never going to get any better. They just get worse. He's already done the disrespectful thing. See, a man who respected you and respected women in general would never come at you like that. That's the thing I think a lot of young girls don't know, because they've been getting talked to like this, or they've been hearing women around them getting talked to like that their entire lives. So to them, that's normalized behavior. To me, that's roach behavior. And you just don't, any man who would come at you like that is a roach. And you just cut them loose. What's up, Glassy? I just don't get it. So that's what you do with this guy now. You just, block him. Question number 5, female, 18 to 21, from Canvey Island, Essex in the UK. Never heard this, a new one. My boyfriend says he's depressed and is refusing to talk by any means other than text, and I need help. Everything was going fine between us lately, then all of a sudden he got really depressed last night. He'll text me, but he won't talk by any other means than that. I'm really worried about him. He means the world to me, and I don't know what to do. I hate knowing he's in so much pain, and I want to help him. Any advice would be appreciated. First of all, you in the 18 to 21 age group, you don't have no money, you don't have no education, you don't have no car, you don't have no resources. So what you gonna do? What you think you gonna do? Sit your little butt down and worry about yourself. Secondly, you probably don't know because you only in the 18 to 21 age group. Let me tell you something, girl. The biggest game in the world that men run is, oh, I'm so depressed, when they want to carve out space and time to see somebody else but still keep you on the string. Suddenly he's just oh so depressed. If he were really depressed, he would be doing something about it, don't you think? And he got parents to help him, right? He don't need you to do it. You're a kid yourself, or just barely out of childhood. What you think you're gonna do? That's something a professional would handle, not somebody in the 18 to 21-year-old age group living at home with their parents. Okay, that's outside the scope of your ability to handle. So what you do is you call them up and say, well, since you all messed up and stuff, and I can't really do nothing about that, I'm gonna dump you. So good luck and goodbye, good luck and good riddance. That's what you say. First, I don't understand all these girls want to hang out with all these mentally ill dudes. I mean, whether he is or not, the fact that he's claiming that he is just, I mean, that's his option. He has that right, I guess, to say he's crazy and depressed, whatever. But that you have an equal right to not want to be bothered. And at 18 to 21, you should not be involved with nobody who's crazy, okay? Because that, he's so depressed at 18, 21, whatever age he is. He ain't done nothing yet to be depressed about. I think they're not trying to, he's not depressed. It's just game. And since she living on some island, which I never heard of, you living on some island, chances are that it's not like you can come to his house and see what he's doing. So he claims he's depressed, so he only have to text you. He's not gonna pick up the phone. So whoever he's got at his house or wherever he is at their house, you won't hear what's going on in the background. He can just text you. I know that trick. Yeah, but she's so young. That's the part that's so sad when you're young. If you didn't have a daddy like mine to tell you all the dirt, stuff you didn't even want to know, stuff I still haven't come across, games he told me. I haven't seen anybody do it yet. I'm waiting. I'm sure it's going to happen before I check up out of here. But man, that man used to tell me so much stuff. I'm like, man, humanity really ain't about nothing from his point of view. Question number 6, male, 50 to 58, from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I don't want to overdo things, but please help me out. How do I end up like this? LOL. I'm 51 and my girlfriend is 35. What? We just started in a serious relationship in December, even though we've known each other for going on 16 years. So let's see. It's that knowing her so long that I'm even considering this for Valentine's Day. I buy cars at auctions and I fix them up and resell them as a side hustle. I own my own garage. Well, the last few weeks I've been tearing down and rebuilding a Porsche I bought, and she gave her car to her daughter who's away in college. Do you ladies of the squad think I should give that away to her? She's driving one of the garage diesel trucks right now, and this new ride will suit her so much more. Or is it too much too soon? I just want her to be happy and comfortable. I'm going to say this. She's a 35-year-old woman with a kid in college. If you want to help her get a vehicle, why don't you ask her what kind of car she would feel, what does she want? That's what's missing here. What does she want? You haven't asked her. You're just going to give her a sports car. Maybe she doesn't like sports cars, especially Porsches, because they break down too much. I guess it's convenient that you got a garage and know how to fix it, though. But I mean, those cars are not meant for everyday driving. She's a mom with a daughter in college. That's not really a suitable vehicle for her. If anything, you fix that up and you sell it, and then the money that you make from the sale of the car, then you ask her what she wants, and you give it to her for a down payment. Or y'all go shopping and look for her car, and then you put that down on it. You pay if you buy it at an auction or something that's good for her, then you fix it up for her, and then you give it to her. So think about that instead of just giving her some car that I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, exactly. She say, don't give her a Porsche, you'll end up like Paul Walker. I'm just saying, those cars are not meant to be driven every day, like to the grocery store and the hairdresser and back and forth to work. They're not meant for that. Okay, so think about her lifestyle and help her get a vehicle that suits her lifestyle, not just because you got it. Okay. Question number 7, female, 22 to 27, from, is this pronounced Exeter? From Devon in the UK. My partner and me live with another couple. We are all in our 20s. The other couple has a male friend who looks and acts exactly like my abuser. He has made creepy advances towards me, and seeing him sends me into a huge trigger spiral for days. I have mild PTSD from military men assaulting me. They all know this. They've agreed to give me a warning before he comes over so they have time to leave and go somewhere else. Anyways, they didn't warn me, and he comes by to drop off liquor for them. My partner and roommates lied to me about him coming. What? Knowing your history, knowing what it does to you, they set you up by not telling you that he was coming, or basically telling you he wasn't coming, and then he did, because you said they lied to you. So that means they had to tell you that not tell you, that he was coming, and then here you go, just getting broadsided. Interesting. It was dark when I saw his car pull up, and he saw me in the window. I couldn't stop scratching my arms and crying. I drove myself to the hospital and screamed the whole way. I ended up getting a tetanus shot and bandages. The nurses said I could sit in the ER waiting room and feel safe because there were a lot of unvaxxed people taking up the beds. I couldn't stay in the waiting room long as a lot of anti-maskers were yelling to each other and loudly complaining, oh my God, about having to wear a mask. This was also triggering. Ended up just leaving. I cried the whole drive home so hard that my nose went numb and tingling. Now they want to send me to a mental health crisis center. I don't feel I need it, as I'm already doing the work to get better through therapy and medication. I'm clearly communicating my boundaries, yet I'm being lied to. I can't leave as I'm deeply trauma bonded to my girlfriend. It's her birthday soon. I want to be mentally okay for it. Her last birthday I ruined by getting emotional because I found out that she lied about texting her ex. I don't want to ruin this year's birthday too. I just need my boundaries respected. People to not lie to me so I can heal. Should I go to the crisis center? Yes. Under normal circumstances, I would say no, because I don't think that what's bothering you is really a crisis per se. But I think by going to the crisis center, it will get you out of this environment, this toxic environment with these weirdo people that seem hell-bent on destroying you. Now, you might not want to see that. You say you're trauma bonded to your girlfriend. I'm going to tell you this, your girlfriend is sick in the head and she ain't about you at all. She likes to see you tortured and hurt. So if you have some place to put your belongings, do that. Hopefully, if you're on that leash, you can get out of it. Because what you need to do for your own mental health is to break up with that person, that lady that you with, and move into a place with some sane people, and then leave all three of these nuts alone, and get away from that friend who looks like your abuser as well. That's what you need to do for your own, for your own mental health and for your future. But right now, by getting you out of this, I don't know how long you can stay at this crisis center. I don't know. I don't know what they have going on in the UK, but whatever it is, it's going to get you out at least for a couple of days so you can clear your head and calm down from this hot mess that these people have put you in. And then if you have somebody that can go there and get your stuff and move you somewhere else while you're in that facility, or find you some room and board kind of place. I mean, something. You need to get out of that environment. That's all I can say. You got three people gunning for you and who think that your mental health and sending you into a spiral is a joke, entertainment. Question number 8. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Berkeley, California. Yeah, people learn these new words. I mean, everybody know all these words from the DSM, and they be throwing them around like they're some kind of psychotherapist analyzing themselves. And so they come up with all these terms they learned on Google, and they say, "Oh, that's me. I'm trauma bonded." No, you just stupid. How about that? You know, but they want to just assign all these labels that have some mental health, uh, association with them to their stupid behavior, which to them is justification. No, how about you just admit I'm being a fool right about now? I'm making some stupid ass choices. I'm being crazy. What is wrong with me? And then start from there. Stop trying to, make excuses and justify your nutty choices by some books and some diagnosis that doesn't apply to you. You're not a professional and you don't get to decide that. Okay? It's just ridiculous. But I see this all the time. This new generation, they stay on Google trying to, be like a hypochondriac, finding something to say that there's wrong with them that has a label and a diagnosis. Like, I have gluten intolerance. No, you don't. You just eat too much bread and your stomach your system's all jacked up. You know, this is just crazy. So anyway, okay, so Berkeley, California, 22 to 27. My girlfriend's having issues with mood swings, and it's really starting to wear me down. She is 24, I'm 25. We generally have a great relationship until it isn't. We have a great few days. We're happy. We love each other. We have fun. We watch stuff. We go out. It's great, is what I'm saying. We communicate well, and everything is good. Then a mood swing happens. It can be for a few minutes, an hour, a day. Nothing lasts more than a day, though, although it can pass into the next day if it happens at night. She gets super distant, won't talk to me. If we go to bed, she sleeps on the couch. She contemplates ending our relationship sometime. She gets super down and sometimes even angry. Then, after a bit, we talk, we get through it, and it all goes back to being great until it happens again 2 days, 4 days, a week later. We call it relationship anxiety. When she isn't feeling it, we can talk about it and communicate fine. When she is, it's impossible. I should be clear that we are dealing with stress right now, new job issues. We just moved to a new area in the north that's farther away from home than she's ever been. I love her so much. She loves me. She says she's very confused, doesn't know how she feels sometimes, gets overwhelmed. I don't know what to do when she's like this. I try to talk to her, but she gets mad. I leave her alone, then she spirals out of control. When she's like this, she doesn't want me to touch her either. This also happens all times of the month. It's not strictly on when she's on her cycle or anything. I asked this to a female friend and she asked that question. That's why I'm sharing that with you. My girlfriend is also not on any form of birth control or medication. I just need some advice. Well, she needs some meds. Sound like she bipolar to me. Sound like she bipolar. And I'm going to say this, those medications don't seem to do too well when people be pregnant. They still have to take them. So if you're a man who wants to have kids that are normal and don't have problems and ain't weird and all this kind of stuff, break up with her and go and find somebody who doesn't act like this, whose mind is right. There's something wrong with her. She's got mental illness. And you sitting up there trying to figure out, how you can help her. Again, just like I told the last one, that's not your profession. You don't have no skills in that area. All you doing is throwing good time after bad with your sunk cost fallacy behavior. Get rid of this chick. It's too bad you moved away from her home, put her on a train with her stuff in a kerchief like a homosexual, and send her back to her parents and tell them you can't do it, you can't handle it no more. There's something wrong with her, and for them to get her some treatment, some meds and stuff. She'll be all right. But she need to be over there doing that without you. You got. I don't understand you young people wanting to devote all your time. Man, in my 20s, I had myself a good time, and one thing I was not gonna do was be bogged down with some cray cray person. We not doing that. As soon as they even show any signs of cray, I would be like, boop, deuced out. Nope, I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do cray. And you too young to be bothered with cray. Even if you at my age, I'm too young to be bothered with cray. For me to be bothered with cray, I need to be like maybe a week before I croak. And then that's probably about, I'll be bothered with cray then. But until then, I got shit to do. I can't be bothered. Is that what he want to do? He want a trauma bond? Well, he needs to do it without her. I tell you, if that was my son, I'd be just so upset. Let's move on to question number 9. Female 28 to 34 from Nashville, Tennessee. How do I deal with my boyfriend being turned on by other women? This may sound silly, but at this late stage of life, 30, this is my first healthy relationship, so I'm not sure if this is normal, but it's been bugging me for some time now, so I decided to write. We've been together for about 2.5 years, but the majority of it was long distance until recently. We had been watching a show and a woman came onto the screen who was undressed. I honestly thought nothing of it until I heard my partner intake sharply. Then he looked over at me saying, "Well, that was awkward." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Watching this with my fiance." I was still confused, so I said, "Well, it's not like it turns you on or anything, right?" And he didn't answer, so I prodded at this, and he said it did. So I asked if other women's bodies turned him on that weren't me, and he said they did. Okay, what planet have you fallen off of that you didn't know that? What do you think Playboy and Penthouse and all these websites are if that's not what excites men? Are you like dumb? I mean, seriously, how you gonna be 30 years old and you don't know that? Okay, they have like clubs with dancers on them, poles and whatnot. I mean, they're full of men. What are you thinking here? That too, Glassy. But I'm just talking about the big popular stuff. It's just unbelievable that she actually spent the time to write this question and to write this letter and ask this question. It's just like, what? Okay. I asked him to clarify, and he said it was just something that he didn't have control over. That was just his body's natural reaction when he sees undressed women, but consciously he doesn't imagine anything going on with them or he even wanted to. He said it was like his body just wanted to get busy, but his brain doesn't. He reassured me that he loved me, he loves my body, he's attracted to me, and that he doesn't watch popcorn or anything like that because he knows my self-esteem about my body is so low. I honestly feel just shook because for me, when I see a body of an attractive man or a woman or an attractive person, period, I don't get excited because my fiance is the only one for me and I'm only excited by him. I want to clarify that I have no problem with my fiance thinking other women or men are attractive. I do too. And just because we are in a relationship doesn't mean we can't see the beauty. That is totally normal and okay, but I feel being excited by them is different. Is this normal? As it is, how did you deal with it? I think every woman in this world has higher self-esteem except for you. Okay, let me just be blunt. For you to be all this worked up and that's all in a tizzy, like your man is never ever gonna be, thinking any other woman is sexually exciting except for you, is totally unrealistic. You set yourself up for that. Okay. I mean, you just think about women, right? We got that site on that page on Facebook, the Great Sweatpants page. Don't we be over there looking? Just looking. It don't have nothing to do with what you got at home, and this could be laying right there. That's just irrelevant. You like it because it's, yeah, look at that. Woohoo. And that's the same thing that men do. It don't mean you want it, but it means you like looking at it. Girlfriend, you need to see a shrinking, work on your self-esteem, because this is ridiculous. That anybody would get this, shaken up by something like that. I always looked at it as a blessing. Let me tell you why. Because I'm lazy. I'm lazy. Women be doing all these, jumping through all these hoops and going to Vicky's and getting all these things and going through all these changes and, prancing around and doing all this kind of stuff to try to make the dude to be interested and excited and stuff. Deb don't do none of that. I'd be like, so what we gonna do? And dude better understand that's what that means, okay? Because this is it. This is what you getting. Better come on. You be bird watching too. See me and Shay like, I'm not doing all of that. These women be looking up magazines and articles and reading stuff and learning new tricks and trying stuff. I'm not doing any of that. That's too much work. Okay? I'm telling you, and I'll tell the dude in a minute, I'm lazy. Don't be looking for me to do no tricks. Ain't gonna happen. Slap yourself. Yes, I do. I'm not doing none of that. And dudes, they're so used to women like, trying to please them and oh, I need to do this because I want to keep him. I don't want to lose him and all this kind of stuff. I don't give a damn where you go, what you do when you get there, how fast you go on your way there. Bye. I mean, what do you want from me? Because I already know I'm not gonna bust a grape. I'm just a bum like that. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. You better like the way I look and you better be excited about that. And if not, then you go over there and you look at somebody else and you get yourself worked up and then come on back over here because the lazy person is going to reap the benefits of all that that's going on in your head while you looked at all them other women. You see my point? I just, want you to come ready to go, however it takes you to get there. If you could look at little pictures or you go on a website or something that works for you, I'm fine with that. Because it means I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be the one that reaps the benefits. And I will straight tell a man in a minute. That's how we're going to do things. If that works for you, then we can rock and roll here. If not, bye. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Yeah, Mary Elizabeth, they do. They be going through all kind of changes, putting up poles in their house and they want to just doing the most. I'm just be looking at them women like y'all just don't even understand. You just be doing too much. It's not that important. And if he can't, he ain't giving you what you need, just trade his money and get you somebody else. Be like my mother, she told my daddy when he turned 40, she was going to trade him in for 220s. He was all like sputtering and stuff. And I thought that shit was hilarious. Yes, they do still get cheated on. But, that's right. They be going through all them changes, getting plastic surgery, all kind of stuff to try to keep these men excited and please them and stuff. I say, you know what you need to do when they act like that? Slap the shit out of them. They really like that. And you just tell them, you're going to do what I tell you to do. And you're not going to complain about it either. And when I say come home at this time right here, your ass better be sitting in that chair right there. Then they be all excited. They be telling their friends, oh no, I have to go home because my girl is crazy. She'll beat my ass if I'm not home at 6 o'clock. I gotta go. They love it. And all these women trying to be all nice to them, they don't understand. Men don't like that like nice women. They like bitches. And you be a bitch to them and they just will just love you. Soon as you be nice to them, they don't know how to act. They just, you give them too much rope. And then they want to be a damn cowboy. Don't do that. You tell them what you want and how you want it and where you want it and everything else, and tell them they better give it to you, or they're gonna reap the repercussions. Now, the day that I worry about what men want will be the day. If I do that, you guys just run me out of town because that's just not on my agenda. I just don't care what they think. Question number 10. This is a young lady she's female in the 22 to 27 age group. She says, thanks to Candace for choosing my letter. I'll keep it short and sweet since I know you hate long letters. Ooh, Jesus. Yes. I'm good friends with my sister's boyfriend. Okay, sister's boyfriend. And he told me that he wants to propose to her this year. The problem is we have no idea what her ring size is. She doesn't wear any jewelry whatsoever. My ring size is 6 and my mom's is 7. I can't use our hands as a sphere of reference because we're a lot smaller than my sister, so we have very different hand sizes. How can I get my sister to find out her ring size without giving anything away? What kind of casual conversation would bait her into becoming curious about wanting to find out? Thanks to you and the squad for any suggestions. You guys have any suggestions? My thing is, you might have a smaller hand than theirs, but people have different size fingers. So that doesn't necessarily relate because some people are little and they have short, fat fingers. And your hands don't necessarily reflect, your stature and all of that. Some people are short and they have long, slim fingers when the rest of them might be kind of plump. Some people, are pretty balanced. Their fingers are pretty much, in line with, proportionate to the rest of their body. But then there's people who, just have really big hands and very long, wide fingers. So what you just said here is just so inappropriate. Don't even think like that. The only thing that I could suggest that you do is hold your hand up to your sister's hand, right? Like you guys sitting on the couch or something, you can just be like, remember, when we used to play patty cake or something, I don't know, whatever you're gonna hold your hand up to hers, right? And you can get an idea by how much space is going around between your hand and hers, or if it's about the same. Okay. Then add a size. So chances like, say your hand is, you wear a ring size 6. I wear 7 too, except on this finger, this is an 8. So I'm going to say if you're 6 and she's, he should start with a size 8 then, because you can always get it resized. But at least this way you will know, if you hold your hands up against hers, you can see, around the finger. See that? You can see the thickness and stuff and how well it matches with your hand. And that'll give you a starting point. Okay, paintbrush turkeys. Well, yeah, but we already passed Thanksgiving. But that's what that would be, that's what just came to my mind. I don't know. Since you're the younger sister, you could goad her into it like that, like, or hold my hand, or, act like you a little cute, like you still 5 or something. I don't know. You figure it out. You know your sister's personality better than I do. But there has to be a way where your hand can be in contact with hers long enough for you to check the width and the thickness of her fingers. And then that'll tell you all you need to know. So there's some comments in the chat that you can look at, and maybe they have some good ideas that you can institute as well. Okay, let's move on. Question number 11, male, 22 to 27, from Leeds, West Yorkshire in the UK. I need to know if seeing your partner scream at their parents is a huge red flag or if it is easily explained. Basically, my girlfriend and I got into a small argument at her house, and her mom kept interrupting, telling us to just calm down and for her to keep her voice down. Eventually, my girlfriend completely lost it and screamed endlessly about how she would always interrupt her and how she always felt so disrespected. She was screaming directly at her mom at the top of her lungs while jumping up and down hysterically. I couldn't believe my eyes. We've had many issues in the past, and we both can acknowledge that she's unable to control her emotions and actions at certain times, but I feel like something like this is where I draw the line now. How should I handle this? You should do it by breaking up. See, another person, I don't understand what you guys be thinking. It doesn't matter if it's a red flag, if I see it's a red flag or anything like that. What you're seeing is someone who is so out of control in her parents' home. When her mother asked her to lower her voice and stop screaming, she instead goes off on her mother. See, if that were me, I would have called the police and said, come get her because I'm about to kill her. And I'm about to beat her ass for getting in my face and telling me anything in my house about what I better do. And then I'll proceed to pounce on her, and it would be like World War III. Because that's one thing, you're not going to talk to me like this is my house. Anything that goes up on here that I say or do that you don't like, there's the door, get out. So see, that's how I would personally would have handled my daughter acting like that. I'm not saying you can't fight, but you can't fight here. Get out. And then that would have been the end of it. I'm not gonna ask you to lower your voice. I'm gonna tell you get the fuck out of my house. That's what I'm gonna tell you. And you don't have to like it, but I bet you better go before I go get Roscoe and make you go. We're not doing that. So, son, I'm gonna tell you this. If you see how your mother, you only have one mother. And I know there's a lot of mothers who are abusive or neglectful and this kind of stuff like that. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse to go off on them. What I'm saying is still we only have one mother. And if there's a case, a situation, then this is my own value system where you and your mother don't see eye to eye for any reason. You feel like your mother's mistreating you, whatever. You have the right as an adult to never speak to that person again, never go to their house, never let them come to yours. But there's still no reason for you to act like a disrespectful fool to the people that brought you into this world. And that's just my value system. I would rather never talk to them again than act stupid, because that would bother me. I don't know how what it would do to them, but it would bother me. And so I would never do that. And by my value system, I could not have a partner who would do that either. You see what I mean? Because them doing that is a violation of my own moral code. And so my moral code is you don't talk to your parents like that. If there's any situation you disagree with them, you get out of their house. That's what you do. You get out of their life if necessary. But you don't act stupid with your parents. And so to me, seeing a man act, a girl, I'm a guy and this is my girlfriend, and that's how she was acting, that would be it on the spot. I would have walked out the door and said, you can forget me. You can forget it. Not going to happen. And so, I don't know how long y'all been dating. Usually people say, but, you can't even have a disagreement without her having a meltdown. This does not bode well for your relationship. Let's move on to question number 12. This is a young lady in the 35 to 41 age group from France. She's writing about a male in the 22 to 27 age group. Hi, is it normal that I had to find it to be a deal breaker that my lover cursed back at me once after I cursed at him probably 1,000 times? Wait a minute. So 999 times he took it, and you writing a letter about the one time that he didn't. This is interesting. I made him apologize on his knees and kiss my feet, which he did, but I still can't get over him cursing back at me. I can't even stand the idea of him ever touching me after that. Am I having a normal reaction? I hate him now, and all the good memories are gone. Well, you need to be by yourself because something wrong with you, okay? And something wrong with him too. Kissing your feet, I would have spit on your feet. That's what would have happened to me. What happened to you? Tell me you to kiss my feet, I would have went hawk and spit a big old loogie right on your foot. Say, now, how you like me now? And you would have deserved it. It wouldn't have been nothing you could do. You gonna be running your mouth cussing at folks? Let me tell you how this goes. See me? When I cuss at people, I fully am prepared for them to cuss back. You know why? Because that's how things are in the real world. What you reap, you shall sow. Okay? What you sow, you shall reap, or whatever it goes. So with me, I'm just saying, and don't ask me, Lacey, where that came from, but I just know me. Yeah, okay. I got something for your feet, all right. You ain't gonna like it, but I'm gonna be hawking honey like I haven't spit nothing in 16 years. It's all gonna come out right onto your foot. I don't know. Glassy eyes, a bunch of Looney Tune people. That's what's going on. But yeah, so anyway, get over yourself because something wrong with you. Something wrong with him. Y'all deserve each other. Question number 13, female 42 to 49 from Memphis. We have been married for over 2 decades and have several teenagers. Ooh, my God. At any given time, at least one is having a bad attitude or needs more parenting than would be desired, like bad grades, bickering between them, not helping with chores, expecting to be catered to, etc. We are spending $600 a month for therapy for one of them for a specific issue. Another is battling depression, has not been very productive with their life the past year. When issues started piling up last summer, my husband started saying how miserable this is raising them, and it affects his health. Yeah, teenagers are tough. And you got several of them? Oof. He avoids them as much as possible. He complains he doesn't have any time for his own personal hobbies. His job takes about 60 hours a week. Oh, and he's pretty much just has downtime or exercises when he is home now. We have stopped having family meals and he tries to not be around them almost all the time. I believe he has depression. He also drinks large quantities of alcohol daily. He is not having an affair and he has been adamant it is all the teenager issues that make him so miserable, not me. He stays with the he stays with us out of duty and would rather have not have to leave to deal with them. I don't work and we couldn't handle a split financially, but it seems so wrong to end it over this. He will not pursue counseling or medication for his assumed depression. He also likely has lowered testosterone levels, and he won't get that checked either. It has really affected my self esteem to feel so unloved, and I assume the kids feel similarly. Also, all the kids feel that he is emotionally unstable, and there are times where his yelling and temper have been quite traumatic for some of the kids. I don't think they would miss him if we split. I have worked on making him more of a priority, whereas I probably placed the kids' needs above him for many years. I have given him a lot of one on one attention lately and done nice things for him. He likes it, but he does not reciprocate. How exactly would you handle this? Well, I wouldn't be in this situation because I can tell by your attitude and putting them first, you created some monsters. You told on yourself. You created a situation where these kids feel entitled, they've been spoiled, they're out of control, and to the point where they still want to expect to be catered to, don't help with chores and all this kind of stuff. They have bad grades and have the nerve to come up in the house. We would have hid from our parents like forever if we came in the house with a bad grade. I remember one time I got a C and I was scared to come home. Seriously was afraid to go home, was crying and stuff in school. And so they had to call my father to come and get me because it was algebra. And then after that, they got me a tutor and then I was fine. Just some concepts I just didn't get them. And so once they got me the tutor, I got them. And then after that, my grades went back up to A's and B's. But, it was just right. It's bad parenting. This is bad parenting on your part. And you have created a situation with more than one teenager, several teenagers, sound like three, that are spoiled brats and don't do nothing. And so now your husband, is like looking at them and he's looking at you and he's just like, what the hell is this? He's miserable with them. Now I have to fault him somewhat too because of the fact, even though he does work 60 hours a week and you say you don't work, that was kind of a blessing for you to not have to get out and go into the workforce. But during that time, you were supposed to be using that to provide a structured environment for your children. And then, so that when your husband came home, it was time for just the two of you as much as possible. Kids grow up and they leave. So women who dote on their kids, especially once they're, able and capable of doing stuff for themselves, jumping around doing everything for them, you're creating some nightmare for yourself. You're going to lose your husband. You're going to lose your marriage. Kids are great. I mean, you got to do that when they're tiny. But once they're capable of doing stuff for themselves, you stop doing it. You teach them to be independent. You teach them how to cook, how to clean, how to do chores, how to bathe, wash clothes, clean floors, dust, mop, polish furniture, clean windows. You teach them how to live as adults on their own and be responsible for themselves. If you still doing everything for them, which is what it sounds like to me, because they don't want to do chores, then this is a situation you created. So you trying to put all the blame on your husband because he's disturbed by it and drinking and all this stuff. The man is miserable. I don't know. I would be miserable in this environment too. And the yelling and stuff that he's doing, he's cussing and upset because these kids are just nothing. And sitting up there depressed. What you got to be depressed about? You still teenage, you ain't paying no bills, you don't have a job, and ain't shit for you to be depressed about. See, we weren't allowed to be depressed in our family. My father would have kicked the depression right out of our butt. What you depressed about? You don't have to do shit except go to school. There's nothing for you to be depressed about. And if some teachers messing with you or some students or something, we'll go up to the school and handle it. But other than that, you ain't depressed. Get your butt in there and get in gear. So, this like people, they give their kids too many excuses these days, But he might be checked out now, but I mean, what father do you know that's not? Okay, there's very few. That itself does not make teenagers act stupid. These kids were spoiled by their mother. Okay. She was the one at home with them. So, just like we are not spoiled because of my mother, her kids are spoiled because of their mother. Most of the fathers, if the mom's a stay at home, the dad is working. Okay, he's gone, he's working. That's the arrangement that they put in place. So to turn around and say, well, he's checked out, is that really fair when he's working 60 hours a week so she can stay home with the kids and that's what she chose to do? So then you want to turn around and blame him for doing that? You can't have it both ways. Either you have a man who just works a regular 40 and he's there, or you have a man who's kicking it down, running the business, doing whatever, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, then you're going to be parenting by yourself. That's the trade-off. Let's just be realistic here, ladies. But, she sounds like she was very weak and, didn't make her kids behave. And now they're teenagers where you got to already get your bluff in way before they turn teenagers because now they think they know everything. It's too late now. So, lady, your only option at this point is to sit down with your kids and say, look, y'all are messing up. And I know I have a role in this, but this is what we're going to do from here on to get this family back on track. You're going to do chores. This is the chore list. You're going to do them every day. This is what you do once a week. You're going to do it. No questions asked. Anybody who thinks they don't want to do that, call Child Protective Services and get yourself removed from this household. That's what you're going to do. As long as you want to stay here, this is going to be the new program. You're going to help cook. You're going to help clean. You're going to do all of this stuff here. And you're going to do it on the schedule. Any day that you don't do it, once again, we'll be in contacting with CPS and you will be up out of here. So you're either going to do this or you're going to be somewhere else. Which one do you want? Because one thing I'm not going to do is tolerate this nonsense. Well, he checked out of his marriage because she admitted, did you miss that part, Lee? That she's always focused on the kids more than him. So she checked out the marriage first. Y'all don't be listening to the details. She admitted that she, for years, only focused on the kids. So it's, he was working and she was focusing on the kids. Okay? So everything that's mentioned in this letter, she had something, that was her fault, as far as I'm concerned. You can't put kids first out once they can do stuff for themselves. I'm telling you, that is a mistake a lot of women make. They are helicopter parents. Let them kids do some stuff. We had kids we were setting the table. My little brother setting the table and helping us empty garbage cans and stuff like that at 4. Okay, they can do stuff. Okay, good. But yeah, she didn't handle this right. Let's move on to question number 14. This is a male, 22 to 27 from Canada. Apologies in advance because English isn't my native language. I'll try to keep it as understandable as I can. I'm 21 and I recently immigrated to Canada and have been going to a sort of pre-med GPA raising course that is around 3 months, and I got friendly with a few classmates. One of them, a female, my same age, has been really engaging with me. We kind of chat a lot after class, and she offered to drive me back and forth to the school. She does not live nearby. She's being really friendly with me and pretty much vice versa in a platonic way, from my side at least. Hopefully that's the case both ways. Now, I'm not physically attracted to her, and I don't feel I know her well enough to see it from a non-superficial way. I'm personally pretty much inexperienced when it comes to romantic relationships, and it is likely that I'm just taking kindness as a sign, but just in case that some sort of an advance will happen. How do I deal with rejecting her? I really don't want to hurt her, and honestly, I'm really clueless on how to deal with a situation like that. Should it happen, can you help me? Yes, stop accepting rides from her. Okay, if she rides you or something, give her some gas money. You want to keep this business like as much as possible. She's like, oh, no, I'm just doing you a favor. Say, no, you're not. Gas is not free. Here you go. I appreciate the ride, though it's cold. So I really appreciate it, but you went all out of your way. I really don't want you to do this, but since you already did it, here's some gas money. Okay, she's going to ask you again, do you want to ride? You're going to say no. She's going to like, oh, do you want to go and hang out with me? You're going to say no. Now, what, eventually, like, if she does ask you, like, she gets her nerves up and asks you out on a date, you're going to have to say, I'm sorry, I don't really want to date anybody right now. I'm not trying to do that. That's how you can do it in a way where it says, you said you don't want to hurt her. You just say, I don't want to date anybody right now. Now, how long is right now? That right now could be right this minute, or it could be, till next week. Doesn't matter. We don't know what right now is. But it means in this second, while I'm having this conversation, I'm not trying to date nobody. That's what that means. And she'll understand. She's probably a reasonable girl, but she saw you, she thought you were cute. She's trying to get her swerve on. Question number 15, female, 22 to 27 from Seattle, Washington. Deb, I need advice on how to handle situations where men get annoyed and angry with me for practicing safety tips at night. I was walking home from the pharmacy late at night and saw a man walking in front of me. It was dark, so my instinct when it's dark and I'm walking by myself is to book it, get in front of them, and make it to my destination as quickly as possible. We were close to my building, so I opened the door and, to always avoid someone sneaking into my building behind me, pulled it shut. As I'm buzzing in through the second door leading to the lobby, I noticed that the guy also lives in the building, which I didn't know. So I held the door open for him, but I could already tell he was annoyed. I walked to the elevator and felt him kind of staring at me while he waited as well. And I admit he kind of made me feel a little off, so I called my mom, which I had planned to do anyway. I ended up losing reception in the elevator where I asked him what floor he was on, and he said, no worries, I got the button for you. I live on the third floor, and he lived on the seventh, irrelevant to this letter. He said back, I'm not worried, you seem worried. I didn't really know what to say, so I just said, I'm not worried, I'm just doing what my dad taught me. Then he went on this rant about how he grew up in this neighborhood, I don't have to be worried about him, and why he doesn't know why I'm so worried. And he said, I'm the guy you want behind you. I'm one of the good guys. I got to my floor and he said, have a good one. And I said, good night. I'm worried he thought I had racially profiled him or something. He's black and I'm white. But I'm just a young woman who lives alone, and I'd rather be too paranoid and safe than slip up once and get hurt. Did I just create an enemy, or do I have a reason to be worried about him bothering me in the future? Do you or any of the other ladies have good strategies for dealing with men that get defensive or annoyed when you practice safety at night or alone? I'm going to say this. First of all, your thing about your instinct to get in front of the possible what you perceive as a threat is wrong. You keep what perceived threat in front of you where you can see it. Once you get him, he's in back of you. You don't know what he's doing, so your radar is way off. You stay in back of them and you pace yourself so there's a distance between you and that person, so you have plenty of time to dip out in the street, run across the street, take off running, whatever you need to do, run up into somebody's porch, ring the bell, screaming like a maniac, whatever you need to do if you feel that threatened. Okay? You do not put the threat behind you where you have no eyes and don't know what's going on back there. Okay, that was the stupidest thing that you could do right there. Then, so he gets in and he's annoyed. And he's like, I'm not worried, you seem worried. And you say, I'm just doing what my dad taught me. And he goes on this rant and he's, the good guy, and you have to worry about him and all this stuff. You were supposed to say, that may all be true, but there's no sign on you that says that. How am I supposed to know that just by looking at you or any other guy, if you're a threat or not? So for you to, all this stuff, I can see that, you're taking this personally is nothing personal. I'm a woman by myself and you're a dude. Okay? When women get hurt, 99.9% of the time is by a guy. So, I understand what you're saying, but that don't really mean anything to me. That's what he would have got from me. Just calm down, homeboy. You getting all in your feelings about some complete stranger closing the door behind herself. That's what she's supposed to do. If anything, he should have been understanding instead of taking it personally and trying to, roust you up about it. So, he's stupid. He's stupid. But, if you see him again, which you probably will since he lives in the building, you need to stop and say, I just want to revisit what happened the other day. I want you to understand that it was not a personal thing. It was like, and all these things that you said about yourself might very well be true, but you don't have a sign on you that says that. And so there's no way for me to know that just looking at you or any other guy, like I said, and just make that point clear and then say, but, thanks. Good to meet you. My name is so-and-so if you want to. Otherwise, just walk off and leave them standing there looking stupid. And stop worrying about every damn thing. Like, do I have to be worried about him bothering me? He don't give a shit about you. You putting way too much importance on yourself. Question number 16, female, 18 to 21 from Philadelphia. Hi, Miss Deb. I've been having problems with my 4 roommates. 4? We're all full-time college students, but they don't like to do chores. If I don't take out the trash or whatever, nobody will do it. 2 particular roommates like to leave a mess. I'm talking dirty dishes in the sink, food on the stove, raw meat in the fridge, crumbs on the counter, etc. One roommate let the toilet adjacent to her room turn black. Wow. I only found out because she lets the toilet run and she throws her used toilet tissue in the wastebasket. I know a lot of people do that because they're used to having some kind of, what do they call that, plumbing, where it doesn't really handle toilet paper very well. Miss Deb, I think she was put on this earth specifically to get on my nerves. Everything she touches becomes ruined. I share a full bathroom on the lower level with that roommate. She does not clean this bathroom either. I usually do, but I stopped cleaning the shower we share. I just spray it every day and pray to Jesus I don't catch anything. Wear flip-flops in the shower. That's my suggestion to you. Anyways, I've done all I can to communicate with everyone about chores and mess via text and in person. I find it odd as the only black person in the house. They're okay with seeing me do chores while doing little to none themselves. They're not consistent. I'm tired of them acting like I'm their mammy. I already cussed out that one nasty roommate for stealing my stuff and using my washcloth. I documented everything and talked to my landlord about it. I told her I'm taking responsibility for my own mess since the lease tells us to clean. I was trying to save money by renting a room, but now I have to work on getting an apartment by the time I graduate next year. In the meantime, how can I deal with these dirty roommates and not go to jail? Living with family or friends is not an option. I already have an idea, but I'm curious about your approach. Many thanks. Just because you can still rent a room, just not there. I don't know. You said you want I guess it's a lease and it's going to be, yeah, you used the word lease. So, and the lease tells you to clean. So what I would do is arrange with the landlord to do a surprise inspection. Or, short, because they only have to give like, I don't know, what is it, 20? Well, I don't know. Where did you say you were? Oh, Philadelphia. I don't know what the landlord tenant rules are in Philadelphia. But here, they just have to give, like a 1-day notice. More is better, but they don't have to. Just 24 hours is enough. A written notice that they're going to enter the premises. Now, since they don't like to clean, or you could break something, right? Say something magically broke or it's not working right. Then she has a reason to enter the apartment because it's a repair emergency. And so she can go in without notice, but it has to be something that they're coming. She brings a workman in to fix. So you figure out how you can make that happen. Okay. The refrigerator went out, something happened. And then you open the door and she's going to come in with the workman and you let her do an inspection and then give them a notice to clean or be evicted. That's what you need. You need her on your team. But, I don't know, you keep using this word lease, but it just sounds like you're stuck for a period of time until, the quote lease is up. So I'm telling you, what you don't know how much, I don't know how much time that is, but I would figure out some kind of way to bring the landlord in to do, to be the booster of this. Another thing you could do is give them invoices. Say, okay, if I have to do these kind of things here to keep the house clean, which is on our list, and you attach a copy of that clause of the lease, then I'm going to charge you. This is what you're going to pay, and you're going to pay in advance. You could do that one too. Because then you might not feel so bad if you get $50 a week out of them, 60, 70, whatever you want to charge them. It's 24-hour notice. Okay, that's the same as here in California. But yeah, what if it's an emergency, like something's broken? Like you break the toilet. All you got to do is untouch, go lift up the top and undo the chain. It's going to make it, it's not working. That'll give them an excuse why they need to come in. You got to be slick about this because you want, her to be able to come in and see all this mess so she can write, give them some notices. That's what you want. That's what I would do. You ask me what I would do, that's what I would do. She would be on it would be me and her on one team and all of them on a different one. Nasty freaks. Question number 17, male, 35 to 41 from Sacramento, California. I need advice on how to proceed after failing to shoot my shot. I'm so out of practice, I failed to shoot my shot while flirting with a lady, And I don't know if it's possible to salvage a situation like that. I'm a 36-year-old man with a 5-year-old kid, 1 year from a divorce. I was married for 13 years, and although I've had a few friends with benefits since my ex and I split, I haven't been involved in a relationship, though I would like one eventually. I have joint custody of my son. I took my kid to a historic town about 30 minutes away from where I live as sort of a day trip. And while there, we visited a museum. The place wasn't very busy, and I ended up chatting with the clerk, who happened to be an attractive young woman, a little younger than me, late 20s, I think. She was very friendly, interacted well with my kid while I looked at the toys they had for sale, told me about her career. She works at the museum during her off season from research, and about some fun things to do in the area. We must have talked for at least 20 minutes, and although I'm usually the type that misses signals the woman sent me, this seemed pretty clear. But I chickened out. It's been 13 years since I asked anyone out, and I had my kid with me since I've kept my friends with benefit situation hidden from him. I wasn't sure how he might react to me asking a woman out. Plus, I've always heard it's bad form to hit on someone while they're at work. Is there any way to salvage this, or should I just stop thinking about it and let it go? Driving back out there while the kid's at school might seem a little desperate, and it'll be 2 weeks before I can go back with my boy. But then there's the issue of hitting on a woman while my kid is with me as well. Oh my God, you are just making it so hard for yourself. You were chatting the woman up, and the kids is like not going to be hanging on your every breath. All you have to say is, ask her for a number or slide her yours. How hard is that? So, I'd like to continue this conversation when neither one of us are so busy. Are you amenable? And she would say, yeah, I'm amenable. And then you were like, all right, let me get them digits. And then you would have called her later when your kid was back in bed. Now, what's her off season? Is her off season still off? I mean, with people going back to school? I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say you could go back to the museum just by yourself and say, I'm so stupid. I forgot to ask you for your number. Is that okay? Be prepared though for her to say she already got a boyfriend or something. She could have just been being friendly. We never know. But that's what's good about shooting your shot, because you'll never know the answer to that question unless you ask. You got to ask the question before you get an answer, sir. And stop chickening out. You in your 30s. How you going to be not failing to shoot your shot at 36? Something wrong with you. Please. I'm going to shut up now. Let's move on. Question number 18, female, 28 to 34 from Texas, and she is a Scorpio. Hi, Deb. I started a new job 6 weeks ago, but I don't like it, and I want to go back to my old company. I think I overreacted by leaving the company altogether. I liked the company, but I left because I was being harassed by a coworker on my team, and I was not impressed how my manager handled it. When it first started, my manager told me the guy was just trying to get promoted, so that's why he was acting that way, but my boss wouldn't at least try to step in or mediate. Eventually, things got so bad the guy was barred from working with me, and he eventually moved to another team. Then I got paired with a leader on the same team, but she had a micromanaging style, and I felt like I was being treated like a child, which irritated me even more. Anyway, the money and the perks were great, and I either enjoyed most people or they just didn't bother me. They seemed to like me enough too. I got a jump in salary at my job now, but I don't think I fit here as much as I thought I would. My therapist told me months before quitting that her husband used to work at this same company for 20 years, and that they have a horrible culture and that they could care less about you. She strongly advised it would be better to get out of the company altogether because it would be the same on each team. Other places would treat me like gold. The company has like 200,000 people, woo, and I did have friendly or good relationship with people from outside teams and work with them, but I only focused on external jobs. When I quit, I gave 1 week notice. My manager accepted it and let me transition work over while I found people on other teams to take my work. My senior, all of this is really irrelevant to whatever it is that you were trying to ask me. Nobody needs your life story play by play. This is ridiculous. Oh, okay. My manager called me and was really mad, saying he knew about the issue with the coworker, but he felt they had solved the problem by getting rid of the guy. I didn't tell him I also couldn't stand my direct manager. I left a thank you note to both managers and other people I enjoyed working with. I didn't tell a whole lot of people I was leaving, and it seemed like they were shocked. I've thought about it since leaving. I think I was stupid. I didn't just move to another team. Well, now I don't think I have a strong enough relationship with my manager where I would call them up and email them to ask for my job back. How am I to beg to go back to the company just not my actual old job. You're not going to do that. That ship has sailed. Oh, young people. Young people. See, this is why you should have wrote this letter before you made all these bold and senseless moves. Okay? You have somebody who's a micromanager, you're supposed to talk to the person. You don't just throw a fit and be like, well, I don't need to get on my nerve. That's immaturity. You're in a work environment. This woman's work style is micromanaging and yours is not. All you had to do is sit down with her and say, I seen that your style is in direct conflict with mine. You like to micromanage. I don't work well like that. If you want me to get the best out of me as a manager, what you would do is this, and this here. You tell her how to manage you. Okay? You don't throw a fit and act like a big baby and ruin everything for yourself. So then you got your manager mad who evidently liked you, and then you got everybody else thinking that something's wrong with you because you just quit on with little to no notice. A week? Who does that? That's not how you handle things. Exactly, Mogit. You handled this all wrong. And so, that was an easy fix. And then if she did it again, you say, well, remember the conversation that we had? I think, this is kind of crossing into that territory. You gently remind the person that what you need from them. Okay? You don't just fly off the handle and quit and run to another company. Now, it's good that you made more money. That's, good. But, to go kind of call back, you don't do that. If anything, you look for a different company and you go there. But in the future, before you do any little temper tantrums, throwing stuff like this, write to me so you don't fuck it up. Okay, like you just did. This is stupid. So where you are, you don't like it as much as you thought you would. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it because whatever is bothering you, you're gonna open your mouth like a big girl and try to resolve the problem. You're gonna stop running like a little toddler. You're not gonna do that anymore. If it's like you getting bullied or they not paying you right or something like that, holding up your money and bonuses and whatnot, screwing over your benefits or something that's got legal ramifications to it, well then you're gonna get you a lawyer. But you're just saying, well, I don't like it. Get over it. You're going to like it. And you're going to like it just fine. And you're going to make it work. Because you're going to towards your jobs. Going back to the other company is not an option. You can forget that. That ship is sunk. You're going to tow your draws on that one, chick. Question number 19. Female, 28 to 34 from North York, Canada. I really need some advice. I'm so confused and feel lost as ever. So me and my partner have been together for a year now. We have our home and I've never felt safer and settled. We discussed having children at the beginning of our relationship. He said he wasn't sure, but he'd think about it. We've spoken about this 3 times since. The second time, he said he's tried his hardest, but still doesn't want children, and then mentioned adoption. The third time, he said no to adoption, and he still doesn't want children or want to be a father. I asked him why, and he said he doesn't have a reason, that he'd have a good think about it and say, the world is just getting worse. The world is too overpopulated, and he doesn't want to have to worry all the time in case something bad happens. A few weeks back, he ended our relationship because he said he couldn't give me what I want in the future. I then broke down and chose him over having a child. Now I feel more confused and lost as ever because I finally found someone who I want to marry and spend the rest of my life with, but he can't give me what I want. Any advice would be appreciated. When he broke up with you, you shouldn't let him go. See, your goal for your life is to be somebody's mama. His goal for his life is to not to be nobody's daddy. Okay, so you guys are at complete opposite ends of the spectrum since you can't be a mama without a daddy. All right? So that means what you want, you can get it, but you're just not going to get it from him. And that's the part you want to try to hold on and negotiate and compromise and beat him over the head and try to manipulate and coerce him into giving you a child, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, so again, the sunk cost fallacy at work. You're just going to stick around and seeking more time and more time and more time, going through your fertile years, wasting it with a man who straight told you to your face, I don't want kids. So what are you doing there? You go back and you tell him, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. Because this is a part of me that I just really need. I really want this really badly, and I'm not willing to give that dream up. So it's been magic, and I've got to go. That's what you do. Stay true to yourself. Okay? Stop chasing after some man. You act like he's the only man on this world that you could love. Please. I'm telling you, I fall in love every week. Oh my God, he's so fine. I'm in love. Question 20, female, 28 to 34 from Miami, Florida. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4.5 years. A year ago, we decided to live together. During the first move, my partner worked overtime without anticipating it, so he could not come to help. I was absolutely okay with that, and I neither complained nor mentioned anything. This time, the situation is different. We decided to change houses and make the move over the weekend. On Saturday, he had a lesson in the morning, so I went to the new house to start cleaning and tidying things. When the lesson was over, he called me to tell me that he had invited a friend to have coffee in the new house. I told him that we have a lot of work to do, and I would prefer him to cancel it to help in order to have everything finished by Monday. We both work Monday through Friday. He assured me that they would only sit for half an hour and then he would help me. In the end, they sat for 3 whole hours while I was cleaning and arranging our things. At one point, while they were sitting on the balcony, he told me that they would have more coffee and asked me if I wanted anything. I told him I wanted something to eat because I was exhausted. He replied that it's too early for food and we will order later. You didn't cuss him out? Hours later, I decided to order pizza for both of us and his friend without asking them. When his friend left, I told him he was not helpful at all. He replied that I was unreasonable because he was tired of the lesson and he needed time to relax. We ended the argument without a result, and I'm upset and I feel remorseful because he may have actually been tired. Honestly, I'm really confused. You stupid too. Let's just be blunt. He wants to bring a friend over. You're supposed to have him and his friend unpacking boxes and doing stuff. You're not supposed to let them sit around and relax and drinking coffee. Woman, where is your voice? I would have acted the complete original fool. It's like, yeah, you come to my house and you think you're gonna sit around here and with all these boxes and stuff need to be arranged and you're gonna sit on the balcony and drink coffee? No, motherfucker, you sure not gonna do that. Both of you get in here. And anytime you don't like it, then get the hell out and stay gone. And I would have sat down and crossed my legs. I'm not doing shit. Because it's like I already made everything happen for us to get here. I'm done now. I'm going to unpack my stuff that I need to go to work next week. And everything else is going to be on you. And we would leaving out of boxes for the next 27 years. I wouldn't care. That's how stubborn I am. I'm not doing it. And if I say no, that's what I mean. Yeah. And she's not just 4 years, honey, 4.5 years. That's why I say you stupid. He know a good one. And you let him get away with that the first time, so of course he's going to try it the second time. That clown didn't have to work overtime. All he have to do is say, I'm moving today. I can't work overtime. Shit. Please. Question number 21, female, 35 to 41 from Fort Worth, Texas. Women, I don't know. They're just too easy. You don't have no spine at all. And just let me run all over you. I would have asked them, if you want some coffee, you're going to be wearing some coffee if you don't get in here. I'm about to throw it on both of you, and it's going to be hot, too. You don't try to call the police because I'm going to say it was an accident. I tripped and fell over all these boxes. Female, 35 to 41 from Fort Worth, Texas. She is a Libra. What is the best way to expose a homewrecker? She deserves everyone to know the truth about her. My husband was working out with this woman, and they were texting at nighttime. I did meet her, but I still think that she wants my man, even though I know they were working out together. She explained to me that she didn't have an affair with him nor liked him like that. I didn't want to hear it. I sent my friends after her on Facebook and threatened her. Wait a minute, how old are you again? Let me just refresh my mind. 35 to 41, okay. I sent my friends after her on Facebook and threatened her to leave my husband alone. I found out she was still working out with him. She even liked to post about my dead baby, telling us sorry for our loss and wanted to send condolences. I'm like, yeah, right. I told her I was going to post her and everyone was going to laugh at her for trying to take my husband. She said, why? And I said they never messed around. Then she said, whatever you and your husband have going on, don't take it out on me when I didn't do anything with him. She said she's not sure why I keep pointing at her for these accusations. So later on, I found out he was still working out with her. She ruined our anniversary and caused me to lose my baby. She is a disgrace. So I sent my friends after her again. I posted on Facebook that she's a garden tool, and fate, and talked about her badass kids, her depression, her only page, and how broke she is. How would you know all of that? Then, after I posted her, I was receiving unsolicited advice, which I don't understand. Why, when she was supposed to be my friend? What are some other ways to expose her so other people can know that she's a homewrecker? Let me explain something to you. You sound like you need medication. Okay? You sound crazy as a Betsy bug. Number one, which could possibly be you just lost a pregnancy, your hormones are crazy, and you suffering from grief or depression because of that or something, and you taking it out on her. Number one thing, you need to turn this around, and this is a problem I've noticed when I lived in Texas with the women down there. Y'all forget that your men have two legs and their own brain and can make decisions for themselves. You act like they're marionettes on a string controlled by other women. Any affair that your husband had would be his choice. Okay, short of him being abducted and tied down and assaulted by a woman, he would have done that voluntarily of his own free will. So the person that you need to be mad at and accusing of stuff and all this kind of stuff is your raggedy husband, not somebody else. But did he forget he was married? That seems to be your point. You calling her a homewrecker. No, 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 no. The only person who could wreck your home is your husband. Okay, because he's the one that's married to you. Understand that. So you writing this thinking I'm gonna tell you some dumb shit to do? Like you already got your okay. First of all, your friends are ignorant too. What grown woman goes on Facebook to attack somebody based on some nutty woman say so? Okay, your friends are cray cray, and so are you. That's why your husband has to go to the gym to get away from you. That's his respite. So I'm not sure what you expected from me. She ruined your anniversary. She didn't ruin anything. If your anniversary was messed up again, turn to your husband. He's not a puppet on a string. Anything that he did, he chose to do it. Anywhere he went, he chose to be there. Anything he says, he chooses to say that. You're trying to put responsibility on the wrong person. Everything that you mentioned here, if any of this was going down, it would be your husband's fault, not some other woman. So I don't know what it is you expected me to say here, but evidently I'm not going to say it because she's right and you're wrong. You need to keep your stuff going on in your house and your marriage at your house and stay off of Facebook because it makes you look like you're 15, highly immature, and it's embarrassing to any of your relatives and your husband that you act like this in the public. Man, I would be getting divorced just on that alone. You're not going to act like that and be associated with me, have my last name, and people know that you online acting a fool like that. And ain't that your wife, man? Ain't that your wife? I'll be, oh, hell no, I don't know that bitch. She crazy. They just happen to have the same name. I don't know who that is. That would be me. I don't know what to tell you, girlfriend, but you need to get it together. Maybe you should want to see a shrink or something about your depression and your postpartum depression, because that's what it probably is. Question number 22, female, 18 to 21 from Boston. My boyfriend kissed his best guy friend the other day. What should I do? She writes. So to start off, neither of them are attracted to men. Oh, is that so? And I wasn't there to see what actually happened, but it seemed like they drank a little bit too much and then they kissed. The only reason I found out is because his friend told me, and it seemed like my boyfriend didn't really want me to know. I feel like it's normally something he would tell me. And I know it doesn't seem like anything because they, as far as I know, are both straight, but it still bothered me when I found out. He apologized to me and made a joke about how I said it was okay because he joked about kissing his homies goodnight. I'm like, of course, but like I didn't think he would actually go out and kiss the friend. I don't think I feel cheated on because I feel like I can't trust him right now because of how he acted about it and not telling me. What was going to change if he told you? He still did it. He can't undo it by telling you. I don't understand that logic. I'm just looking for thoughts and advice from you and the squad because I'm having a hard time processing my thoughts. Okay, this is the deal. Your boyfriend, this is a test to see how he can break it to you that he's in love with his best friend and they're going to have a relationship, but he still want to have a relationship with you too. So this is the test part to see how you respond and what else he can tell you. So you acting all confused and stuff. There's nothing to be confused about. If you don't want a man who goes around kissing other men in the mouth and then want to come home and kiss you, well, then the answer is very simple. You get rid of him. It's not like you're married. It's a boyfriend. Okay? I don't understand this. Why is this even up for discussion? He wouldn't be my boyfriend. That's all I could tell you. I'd be like, nah, you go on over there and continue your lip lock with Joe. And y'all just make a cute couple and leave me out of it. Boop! Question number 23, male, 22 to 27, from Naperville, Illinois. My girlfriend got sick and expected me to come back 500 miles from a family visit, but I didn't. I'm thinking of ending this relationship now. We traveled about 500 miles to visit my family for Christmas, and long story short, we had an ongoing fight about me coming back. Before we took the trip, she claimed that she understood if I wanted to stay longer and she would have to come back early for work anyway. I said I wanted to stay longer because my mom just got a new house and I only visit them 2 times a year anyway. So fast forward a couple of days into the trip, she says she feels uncomfortable coming back alone and fears staying alone at night at our place that we moved in a couple of months ago. I say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to cancel my plans, and she would have to tell me before we took the trip. It's not the first time she tells me one thing and then expects the opposite. I say that I really want to stay longer since it's my mom's new place and have a holiday for one more week, except I have to work online for some of it the following days. And I try to explain this as calmly as possible, and that's what I need, but she got very upset anyway. So I'm irritated by the whole situation since I clearly communicated my desire before we took the trip, and she said something different. So I arranged for her to come back with my sister in her car so she feels safer. She travels by car, and the next day she got sick. She has food and everything at the house. She has an online appointment with the doctor who diagnosed her with the mumps. Her mom brought her medicine. She's very upset about everything, expected me to come back. She says that I don't love her. I'm never there when she needs me, and is crying when I'm talking to her on the phone. I would have hung up. I say that I can ask somebody for help if she needs it, to which she refused. But I really need that time for myself and my family, so we argue on the phone. She's crying, and I agreed to come back one day earlier. I couldn't have come much sooner because I had to work online. I could only come back by train one day before I went back anyway. So I get there. She's extremely upset and cries in the other room, saying if I loved her, I would have come back earlier, and my explanation is pathetic, and that's not a real relationship. I'm very frustrated thinking about ending this. It happened many times over the last couple of months that she says one thing and expects the opposite, and I feel like my boundaries are not respected. The situation is at a stalemate right now, but the topic comes up all the time, and I keep hearing that I don't love her, which is not true, because I do, and she's wonderful in many ways, but I think sometimes she gets toxic, overreacts, and I just can't take it anymore. Okay, she says that I'm an egotist and that something like this shouldn't happen in a relationship. I think she has problems in communication. I told her many times over the last couple of months. I can't really speak with her as I would an adult, because when we ask a proper calm discussion, she gets mad, and then when I say I love her, she says I don't, and that I confuse emotions. It's not love if you leave your loved one like that. It's more like a FWB. When I try to explain this situation to her calmly, she tells me what I'm saying is pathetic. Then she gives me the silent treatment for a couple of hours. Well, it's not like it was an emergency. She had an accident or something, but she just got ill from something she could have had a shot for to prevent anyway. I need advice here. Yeah, that is a good point, because I was sitting there thinking about it. Why did she get one of them MMR shots? Because, the age group that y'all is in, 22 to 27, those shots are like normal part of the protocol for young children to get the MMR shot. In my age group, we didn't have the MMR shot. I think was developed in the late 80s. In my age group, we all had measles, mumps, and German measles, which is what rubella is. German was used to be called German measles. I had all 3. So, and it's like, and I'm still here. I'm fine. But that's the shot. If she didn't want to get the mumps, she could have gotten the shot, and she didn't get it. So that's poor parenting. That's her mother's fault. So you are good. Like she called crying and stuff and talking about, you're going to come back. She wants you to come back a day early. I would have stayed an extra day. You know why I would have stayed an extra day? Because you don't tell me what to do. And all this guilt tripping and trying to manipulate and, trying to get you to do what she wants you to do. See, that's why I would say, if you're going to keep that up, I'm going to stay an extra week. I'll work from home and I will stay here an extra week. You better be shut up. But see, that's like, you don't talk to her like that. Wheedle and kowtow and stuff. That's why she keeps doing this, because it works. It gets her what she wants. If you had stood up to her a couple of times in the early days, she would have gave up on this. So this is your fault. You were just acting all weak and, trying to be overly pleasing. That's not how you do when you got this kind of person in your life. You stand up for yourself and you put your foot down and you say no. That's what you should have done. So you can do that now. You can sit there and tell her, you know what? You do this shit again, we're through. Because one thing I'm not going to have is you trying to control me. I told you what I was going to do. You had an opportunity then to say something and you didn't. But you're going to try to manipulate and control me on the opposite end. I'm not doing that dance with you anymore. You do that shit one more time. You got one more time and this year is over. And I'll move out and you can have this raggedy apartment. Or you can leave. Either way. But we won't be together. I bet you that. That's what you need to tell her. Put her on notice so she can start giving this some thought on how she's been behaving. Question number 24, female, 22 to 27 from Patterson, New Jersey. My boyfriend and I have been together for just over 3 years. I'm 24, he's 25. He has pretty much settled in his career and has been hinting at buying a house for a while. I want a job to do with languages and would love to work abroad to improve my skills before committing to buying a house. I communicated this to him in the past, but not recently. But he keeps suggesting careers to me that aren't really related. He wants to buy a house soon because he hates living at home. I have also said before about not being ready to buy because I want to travel. I'm just always very uncomfortable around the subject because I don't want to lose him and I do want a future with him. I would also like to buy, but just not right now because I don't want to hold him back. I've wanted to travel for ages, but I'm concerned he won't think I'm serious about a relationship if I want to go off traveling. This whole situation makes me feel so anxious, which is why I avoid talking about it now. But now I actually want to start looking for jobs in my field. Any advice to be afraid? Then start doing that. Let me explain something to you. You're not married. Even if you were, you'll get over it. You do what you want to do. You make your dreams come true. You don't let any man stop you. And it's not like you do. It's like, I don't want to lose him. He's not a possession. You don't not keep a man on a leash like that or put him in a box on a shelf. He's fully capable of doing whatever he wants to do. You want to travel, he could come with you, right? That's another option that he seems to not really understand or perceive. That's the other option. Instead of sitting up there trying to buy a house, and don't you dare buy a house with him. If he starts talking about buying a house, say, well, when are you planning to get married? Because I'm only buying a house with my husband. I'm not buying a house with no damn boyfriend. That's not happening. And it's going to happen. I'm not buying anything until after I do all my traveling that I want to do. So do you want to travel with me? And if he says no, then you say, okay, well, then I'll be going by myself and this relationship is over. That's what you do, madam. You don't let him stop you. And I'm telling you, wherever you go, you're going to travel over to some other countries and stuff. You'll meet so many men, so many wonderful men. And you start thinking like, wow, why was I trying to be stuck with this one? He was the sun and the moon and the stars. He was just a little knucklehead that just happened to be, living in the same town as me. Please. Just like they're telling you in here, do you choose yourself? Leave that thing like I did. Make your dreams come true. This is what you need to do, to think about. Stop thinking about him and what he wants. If he wants to buy a house, he can buy a house. He can buy a house with one of his buddies, or 3 or 4. It's a 3 or 4 bedroom house. They can chip in and buy it. 3 or 4 dudes can chip in and buy a house together, and help pay for it together. He don't need you. You regret not traveling, and she says this has been her dream for a long time. Girl, you better make your dream come true and stop tripping with him. Go find this job that you want and leave him. Okay, don't worry about him. He'll be all right. You make what you want to have happen. It's your life, and you only got one. Okay, so do everything that you want to do in it. Start doing it. The clock is ticking. Question number 25. Oh, it says, this is the question from the channel wall. This was a suggestion for your show last night, but I pulled it and added it to the advice column since it's not enough to do an entire show on. Oh, yeah, because remember I had asked for a suggestion, but then I decided to do the stuff that I already had. Okay, so here's the question. Can you talk about men who don't plan regular dates, but instead plan trips/getaways for first dates? It seems to be becoming a trend. Really? What is that about? What are your thoughts on it? I don't know. I haven't heard of this. Have you guys heard of this? You guys that do all this online dating and stuff, have you heard a guy trying to a trip and a giveaway for the first date? She specified for the first date. It seems to be becoming a trend. That's interesting. I would think that it's just another way to get some tang. The other thing that concerns me is you don't know these guys and you're going on a getaway. Now, where are you going? Who's gonna be there? Do you need to go? Is it out of the country? Is it out of the state? Are you going away to some place that's kind of remote where you don't know nobody? What's going to happen when you get there? See, in this age of human trafficking, these are all things that I would be considering, and I would not go. I'm not going nowhere with you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're involved in. What you're involved in. I don't know what kind of friends you got, what kind of relatives you got, what kind of setup you trying to put me all in. You're going to be having me someplace where there's cameras everywhere and filming all, no. Because you don't know this. Are we going to my buddy's cabin in the woods? And then you get there and there's 12 dudes there waiting and you got no car to get back. You don't even know where the hell you are. Nah, we ain't doing that. See, Deb has watched way too many horror movies and saw too much real horrible stuff go on in the hood. I'm not doing that. Any woman who would do that is a fool. It's bad enough when you just go on a date with them. People be like not showing up and they just went to Denny's. Nobody don't see you again. And you're going to be jumping on in people's cars and driving off out of state and all 400, 500 miles away from you, anybody that you even know. And you think that's a good idea. You that desperate for a date? I would not recommend that. I would not recommend that. So anybody, I'm really suspect of any dude who would offer something like that, knowing what's going on in the world. Why would you do this? See, to me, and a woman who would accept that is either totally clueless or she is so desperate for, that something for nothing kind of mentality. And whenever you think you're going to get something for nothing, eventually you get something, but it's not what you want. Exactly. That movie, ooh, the creepy movie, The Hills Have Eyes. No. I just don't think that's a good idea. Okay? Getaways lead to the Lifetime Network. Mary Elizabeth is stupid. But she's right, though. But you've heard of it? Josie says she's heard of it. It's too iffy and you'll be vulnerable. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And to ask somebody who doesn't even think that you should spend the night at a guy's house or, be there too late, some dude, you think I'll be going somewhere with you on a weekend or overnight trip? Hell to the no. Yeah, times are way too dangerous for all of that. Don't do that, ladies. If some guy offers you something like that, you know he's up to no good. That's a setup. That's what I said, Celine. That's what I said in my answer at the beginning, that's what my most likely thing is, that's what that would be. And you would be in some setup where it's like 10 to 12 dudes waiting for you. And here you are thinking you're just going to be with this one dude as your, new boyfriend. And then surprise, you get to come back home. You're still alive and stuff. They're not going to, be up for something like that. But in the meantime, you don't really know this man. You're not really sure where, you don't know him. So you don't even know if the name he told you is true. You jumped in the car, so nobody knows his license plate number because you didn't think to do what Deb says and take a picture of it and send it to somebody. You didn't do that. or post it on Facebook or something. I'm getting this guy's car. This is him, and this is the car license plate that we're driving away in, and we're supposed to be going here and there. If you don't hear from me in 24 hours, send the state police. Okay, then they master reflections is going real deep with it. That could happen because sometimes when these people we don't hear from them again, we don't know what happened to them. You know, you don't know what happened to them. It could very well be what she just said. That's one of them situations because they're never seen or heard from again. We don't know where they are, if they're still alive. We don't know nothing. You just don't know. So anyway, ladies, be a little bit more, know a lot more discerning about who you spend, go away with and go around and stuff, who you drink with, who you let serve you drinks and food. You go to these dudes' houses and they go in the kitchen and say, "Oh, I'm gonna make you a drink." You tail along right with them. You don't let him go somewhere you ain't seen and come back and give you a drink. Nah, we ain't doing that. If you come out with a drink, then I'm taking yours and you gonna drink the one that you fixed. And watch how soon that drink just sits there or he accidentally knocks it over and has to go fix himself another one. I'm not doing them tricks. I'm just seeing too much horrible stuff. That's why I have to be single because I don't trust these dudes. They just got too many angles. There's too much stuff going on in the world today. But anyway, that is our show for tonight. Tomorrow we got Tim Grimes coming on at 6 p.m. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna try to reschedule the lady who was supposed to be on last night to sometime in the weekend. I'm not sure if we're gonna do a recorded show that I can upload later or what she wants to do, but we're still trying to get her on here because I want her message to you guys to hear her message. But yeah, let's see. Tim Grimes. Wait, where's the kid? Here we go. This is our calendar for this week. Okay, so Tim Grimes is tomorrow. Yes, stop overthinking. Then we're going to talk about alleviating guilt on Thursday. And then Friday night is the live advice submit your questions show where, you ask a question, you pay the little $8, and then I answer your question right there on the air. That was real popular last time, but a lot of you waited till the last minute until we was, signing off, and then you wanted to send in your question. No, send in your question early. Soon as we start asking, start getting yourself together so you can pose your question. Start thinking of your question now. The show is Friday night, okay? Friday night from 6 probably to about 8. I should be able to get everybody done by then. And then we have pre-recorded shows for the weekend, so me and Shay can have a little break. At least on Saturday. I forgot what's on Sunday. But that's what we got, okay? That's what we got coming up. And, it's, we getting into our second week of February, winding down to the halfway mark. So you guys be cool. Be here tomorrow at 6. If you're not already a subscriber to this channel, please hit the subscription button on your way out and choose a video to share. There's over 1,000 options here that you can, get your friends up on game about dusties and boundaries and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So pick a video, share a link or two, and I'll see you here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time sharp. Bye-bye.